And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today I am reviewing Oddworld, Abe's Oddysee. This is a PS1 game released in 1997, so it's been quite a while since this game came out. This is one that flew under my radar. I didn't really consider it for a review until I took a little closer look at my games that I had and realized, oh, well, I have this one. Might as well give it a shot. And I'm really glad I did because it's a very unique game with lots of good things about it and lots of not so good things about it. So I got lots of notes about it. Let's jump right into it, shall we? First off, this game is very, I would say, revolutionary for many different reasons. First off, the graphics in this game look amazing. For a PS1 game, they look incredibly good. I could see this being a later end PS2 game or even a PS3 title. That's how good it is. But no, it's a PS1 title. Did so well there. With just how well the animations are very smooth. The graphics again look great. And there's narration. How huge is that? There's freaking narration in the game. I don't know how widespread that was back in 1997, but it was definitely a very welcome design here and really helped set the tone of the game, and I really like that. So that was really good. And all that on top of a few other awesome, really cool details, like the noise, like, okay, follow me, okay, or just like the voices acting and the little loading screen where it's like the game is loading, so it's like be quiet or be patient or something like that. I thought that was a little funny touch, and it just all really shows that the developers really loved making this game, and I can just tell that they put a lot of fun and effort into it and really enjoyed their time. And when there's a lot of love and care put into a game, as there is for this one, the product's automatically going to be better than somebody who just didn't really have a care for it going in. So that I really enjoyed right there. So and that little hello, follow me. Okay, that's so nostalgic for me. Even though I've never played this game before, I've never played an Oddworld game before. It was still very nostalgic for me to hear it because I watched like some of the YouTubers would put it in some of their videos way back when I was watching videos, and so that was really cool. But like I said, this game is a very healthy mix of good things, and the good things is what I already said. The really good narration that really sets the tone for a pretty decent story, all things considered. Good graphics, really good animations, and all that stuff. This game is not perfect by any means. I was really hopeful once I started up the game, was starting to play it a little bit. I was really hopeful that I actually played the game and realized one big thing. The controls are fucking terrible in this game. Now, I was playing on PS2. It's a PS1 game, but I was not playing it on PS2. So that might have had a little bit of effect to it because you don't use the analog sticks at all. I just got to use the D-pad, and I just can never get used to that thing. It's stiff, it's janky, and it's just I'm not used to it as well, and it just takes a lot of getting used to for an old soul like me. But and it wasn't terrible once you kind of get used to it. But there's just a few like little quirks and stuff, like having to hold R1 to run, and then like having to hold all these certain buttons, and like your hands are jumbled all over the place, and you really can't tell what's going on. And you gotta like be very careful because this game's a lot about like puzzles and stealth and being very quick, like very timing your jumps correctly and timing them at the right place, landing in the correct spot and only the correct spot, and hitting a button at the certain time that you need to do that, and having to press all these sort of buttons at once can really screw that up. It also can really screw it up because the controls are not responsive at all. They are extremely delayed by at least a couple of seconds, and that is just terrible. Even for 1997 standards on the PS1, that is just absolutely terrible. Because you're so used to pressing a button right before you gotta jump, and you want to press the jump button, which is triangle, by the way. It does not make any sense why it's triangle, but it is. But no, you gotta press it a couple seconds beforehand so that the input thing lag can take effect, and then you'll jump. Or like the running effect, and you don't want to run too far, because if you're in a stealth mission, you don't want to wake up the thing that's gonna then fucking genocide you, and you don't want that to happen. That would be bad. So you gotta do that. It's just they're very unresponsive, and they're jank, and that could just really take away from the fun of the gameplay, really quickly. Thankfully, another great thing about this game, you get unlimited lives, so that's not a problem at all, thank God. But having to, the checkpoints get pretty few and far between the more you play the game, and so it can be pretty hard to, you go all the way back, and you gotta do this whole section again, and that can be very tedious, really fast. But also, I thought the loading screens were a little long. Some of them just take a little longer. I guess that's kind of why they put that message on some of the loading screens, like, just be patient. All right, I'm being patient. All right, people, I get it. At least you put a warning in there. At least you put a disclosure in there. That's better than most people do. Also, having no defense and having to be super sneaky and doing all these cool puzzles is a cool concept. It's a different take than what I was expecting going into the game, but I definitely liked it to an extent. But like I said, it's a cool theory, it's a cool concept, but with the terrible controls and just the unresponsiveness of the buttons, it is terrible. Give us a weapon. Give us something to defend ourselves with. It will be so much better, because there's just a lot of... And I know that would take away from a lot of the puzzle aspects, but there's still some cool puzzle things you could have done here, and it would have been a lot better, in my opinion. Especially when so many things can kill you. You fall off a platform, you can get a meat block dropped on your head, you can get shot by a robot, you can run into a bomb, or a zap wall or something like that. There's just a million different things dropping out of the sky and shooting you and running into that just can hurt you, and that's just very annoying, very fast. So another thing I do like is the different endings to the game. When a game has multiple endings to it based on how much you complete it, I think that's really cool. For this game, it can be probably pretty frustrating, because you don't want to go back and have to play the game again to get more, save more, whatever the fuck they're called, get the 99 thingamahoobers. But I think that can add an extra challenge onto the game, and it is also cool to have different endings for different perspectives, to get all the endings and stuff like that. I always think that's a cool thing to have. So, but overall, I mean, this game is really good in some aspects and really bad in other ones. So it's pretty hard to give this game a fair ranking. But I definitely think it's worth a pickup. I'm interested to see how the PC version plays. To see if the controls are better there. I would hope so, being PC. But I have no idea if that's if the input lag is a thing of PlayStation's fault or the game's fault. If the game's fault, then you're gonna have the input lag, whatever. But if it's PlayStation's fault, then it can be fixed with going on PC. But I'm not gonna get the PC version to find out. I'll just stick to the PS1 version instead. For my final score of Oddworld Abe's Oddysee, I'm going to have to give this one a good... We'll give it a 5 out of 10. We'll give it a 6. We'll give it a 6. It's very good in many aspects. Like I said, just the controls suck, and that can really take away from the overall fun of the game. So that's going to do it for my review, though. If you've ever played Oddworld Apes Odyssey, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video, so stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.